Introduction: Psychedelic Pioneers. Pink Floyd, a name synonymous with psychedelic rock, left an indelible mark on the world of music. Their sonic landscapes, philosophical themes, and spectacular live shows captivated audiences for decades. From their experimental beginnings in the 1960s to their stadium-filling tours in the 1980s, Pink Floyd's journey is a testament to their creativity and innovation. Their music transcended genres, blending rock, blues, and jazz with elements of classical and avant-garde. Pink Floyd's impact extends far beyond record sales. They pushed the boundaries of live performance, incorporating elaborate stage setups, stunning visuals, and innovative sound effects. The band's influence can be heard in countless artists across genres, solidifying their place as one of the most important and influential bands of all time.
The seeds of Pink Floyd were sown in the mid-1960s in London's vibrant art school scene. Roger Waters, Nick Mason, and Richard Wright met while studying architecture at Regent Street Polytechnic. Sharing a passion for music, they formed a band called Sigma 6, playing covers of popular R&B songs. Sydbarrett, a friend of Waters from Cambridge, joined the group, bringing his unique songwriting and guitar playing to the mix. The band went through several name changes, including the T-Set and the Abdabs, before settling on Pink Floyd. The name was inspired by two blues musicians, Pink Anderson and Floyd Council, reflecting Barrett's love for the genre. As Pink Floyd, they began to develop their own sound, experimenting with extended jams, psychedelic effects, and Barrett's whimsical lyrics. Their early gigs at London's underground clubs, such as the UFO Club and the Roundhouse, gained them a loyal following and established their reputation as pioneers of the psychedelic rock scene.
Sydbarrett was the creative force behind Pink Floyd's early success. His songwriting, characterized by surreal imagery, playful wordplay, and a childlike sense of wonder, defined their psychedelic sound. Songs like Arnold Lane, See Emily Play, and Astronomy Domine showcased Barrett's unique talent and propelled the band to fame. However, Barrett's mental state deteriorated rapidly due to excessive drug use and the pressures of fame. His behavior became increasingly erratic and unpredictable, making it difficult for the band to perform and record. Concerned about Barrett's well-being and the future of the band, they decided to bring in guitarist David Gilmour, a friend from Cambridge, to help with live performances. Gilmour's blues-influenced guitar style and vocal harmonies complemented the band's sound, adding a new dimension to their music. As Barrett's condition worsened, he became increasingly withdrawn and isolated. His contributions to the band became sporadic, and eventually, Pink Floyd made the difficult decision to continue without him. Barrett's departure marked the end of an era for Pink Floyd, but it also paved the way for a new chapter of musical exploration and innovation. The loss of Syd Barrett, the band's primary songwriter and frontman, left a void in Pink Floyd. The remaining members, determined to carry on, embarked on a period of transition and experimentation. They explored new sonic territories, incorporating elements of progressive rock, jazz fusion, and ambient music into their sound. Roger Waters gradually emerged as the band's lyricist and conceptual leader, his introspective and often politically charged lyrics becoming a hallmark of their later work. David Gilmour's guitar work became more prominent, his melodic solos and atmospheric textures adding a new dimension to their music. Richard Wright's keyboard playing, often experimental and atmospheric, provided a rich sonic backdrop for the band's evolving sound. Nick Mason's precise and powerful drumming anchored the band's music, his rhythmic contributions often driving the band's dynamic shifts and extended jams. During this period, Pink Floyd released a series of albums that showcased their growing musical ambition and thematic depth.
In 1973, Pink Floyd released The Dark Side of the Moon, an album that would become a landmark achievement in popular music. The album's themes of greed, madness, and the passage of time resonated deeply with audiences worldwide. The Dark Side of the Moon was a concept album, with each side exploring different aspects of the human experience. The album's lyrics, written primarily by Roger Waters, were introspective, thought-provoking, and often infused with a sense of existential angst. Musically, the album was a tour de force, showcasing the band's mastery of dynamics, rhythm, and sonic textures. David Gilmour's soaring guitar solos, Richard Wright's atmospheric keyboard work, and Nick Mason's powerful drumming combined to create a rich and immersive sonic landscape. The Dark Side of the Moon was an instant commercial and critical success, topping charts worldwide and garnering widespread critical acclaim. The album's enduring popularity cemented Pink Floyd's status as one of the most important and influential bands of the 1970s.
Following the massive success of The Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd faced the daunting task of creating a follow-up album. Instead of replicating their previous success, they chose a more personal and introspective work. Wish You Were Here, released in 1975, was a poignant tribute to Syd Barrett. The title track became one of Pink Floyd's most beloved songs, capturing their complex emotions towards Barrett. Wish You Were Here was another critical and commercial triumph, solidifying Pink Floyd's legacy.
In 1977, Pink Floyd released Animals, a concept album that offered a bleak and cynical view of contemporary society. Inspired by George Orwell's allegorical novella Animal Farm, the album used animals as metaphors to critique the social and political hierarchies of the time. Dogs represented the ruthless and ambitious individuals who were willing to do whatever it took to climb the social ladder. Pigs symbolized the corrupt and power-hungry ruling class, who exploited the working class for their own gain. Sheep represented the passive and easily manipulated masses, who were content to follow the status quo without question. The album's closing track, Sheep, ended with a glimmer of hope, suggesting that even the most docile of creatures could rise up against their oppressors. Animals was a departure from Pink Floyd's previous two albums. Its sound harsher and more angular, reflecting the album's bleak and cynical tone. Roger Waters' lyrics were at their most acerbic and politically charged, his words dripping with contempt for the injustices he saw in the world around him. Section 8, The Wall, a rock opera for the ages. The Wall, released in 1979, was Pink Floyd's most ambitious work. The album told the story of Pink, a rock star who builds a wall to isolate himself from pain. It explored themes of isolation, madness, war, and power abuse. The Wall was a commercial triumph, topping charts and spawning hit singles. Its stage show, featuring a giant wall, became legendary for its scale and spectacle. The Wall remains a cultural touchstone, its themes still relevant today.
Section 9, Roger Waters' departure and the future of Pink Floyd. The 1980s marked a period of turmoil and change for Pink Floyd. Roger Waters' creative dominance within the band had grown, leading to tensions with the other members. Following the release of the final cut in 1982, an album largely seen as a Waters solo project, Pink Floyd went on hiatus. In 1985, Waters announced his departure from the band, believing that Pink Floyd had run its course creatively. The remaining members, however, were determined to continue without him. This decision led to a bitter legal battle over the rights to the Pink Floyd name, with Waters ultimately losing his claim. Despite the acrimony of the split, Pink Floyd, now led by David-Gilmour, proved that they could still create compelling and successful music without Waters. Section 10, The Division Bell and Beyond Carrying the Torch. In 1987, Pink Floyd, now a trio consisting of David-Gilmour, Nick Mason, and Richard Wright, released A Momentary Lapse of Reason. The album, while not reaching the critical acclaim of their earlier work, was a commercial success, demonstrating that Pink Floyd still resonated with audiences worldwide. The album's sound was more polished and commercially accessible than their previous work, reflecting Gilmour's influence on the band's direction. The Division Bell, released in 1994, continued in a similar vein, showcasing Gilmour's songwriting and guitar work. The album's lyrics, co-written by Gilmour and his then-partner Polly Sampson, explored themes of communication, reconciliation, and the search for meaning in a fragmented world. The Division Bell was another commercial success for Pink Floyd, demonstrating that their music continued to connect with audiences across generations.
Section 11, Legacy, an enduring influence on music and culture. Pink Floyd's impact on music and popular culture is immeasurable. From their groundbreaking psychedelic experiments in the 1960s to their stadium-filling rock operas in the 1970s and beyond, Pink Floyd consistently pushed the boundaries of music and performance.
Pink Floyd's albums, particularly The Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall, have become cultural touchstones. Their themes of isolation, alienation, and the human search for connection remain relevant today. Their music continues to resonate with audiences worldwide, ensuring their place in rock and roll history.